Okay, so I want to show you guys something. This is a BB gun. Got a nice $10 holster at the Army Surplus in Hull. Pretty cool. Try to get this thing all set up here. Okay, first off, I just want to use it as a big bug. Show you that just the kind of hit and power of a BB gun. And what I have there is a can. Now I'm going to try to shoot this just so you see the just what a BB gun is capable of. Put it back on safe, as we see. We'll reholster. Okay, this is why they're not what I could call a toy. So we can see that went through. I'll do a better shot just so you can actually see a good centered penetration. So draw my BB gun, and this is all again about education and training. Keep my finger off the trigger till I'm ready to shoot. Okay, that sounds like a good dead-on hit. Again, and I reholster. Now you might laugh at me and say, dude, get a real handgun. I'm in Quebec. Oh, there we go. So we could see the potential dangers of a BB gun. You have to treat it like a real firearm because of that. So we can see it, you know, it has potential to be dangerous. But, gun holster again. These are great tools because of the low restrictions. Oh. Oh, sounds like my BB gun's dying. But anyway, point is this: you can practice all your safe gun handling techniques, and you could teach people how to, you know, kids of appropriate ages. There are some restrictions here in Canada. I have my restricted firearms license. Okay, and I have a holster, and actually no, I'll give you some eye candy. I do have my restricted firearms license, but there are so many restrictions on our handguns here in Canada that it's very, very difficult to not only get a handgun, especially here in Quebec. We got a lot of extra laws. It's the most gun strict in Canada. We need to call our MPs and MLAs to get that changed. But as far as these guys are concerned, there's very little laws concerning it. There is age, and obviously you can't brandish this thing in public, like in a bank or an airplane or anything like that. You'll get charged as if it was a real thing. But I really advocate safe gun handling if you can. And this is a great tool to learn and teach kids, particularly women. Unfortunately, most people that are anti-gun are females, and it'd be in their best interest to learn how to use a firearm safely. Rather than fear them, understand them. You don't fear them anymore, and then you respect them. And if you teach children, they're less likely to do something stupid if they do get a hold of a firearm. You know, I mean, you could be walking in a park and find one of these. What are you going to do? How are you going to pick it up? How do you know if it's loaded? How do you know if it's not loaded? And, oh, well, I'll just call 911. Well, what if your phone doesn't work? You know what, you're just going to leave it there? You know, one guy asked, and he said, oh, I'll just toss it in the bush. I said, you're going to toss a gun in the bush, picking up, not knowing if it's loaded or not knowing how to properly pick it up. And not only that, you're going to toss it in the bush, hope the kids don't find it. You know what I mean? Like, this stuff does happen. So education is the key, and that's how you avoid disaster. Now, little tiny kids always need supervision. And, you know, you pick the appropriate age, and there are laws of what age a kid can learn a firearm at. But I grew up around firearms, so I always respected them. I didn't need to really be taught too much, because I saw firsthand, you know, what a 30-06 could do to, say, like a deer or something. You know, like, I grew up in a hunting community, so for me, you know, firearm safety is not an issue. That said, always point it in the safe direction. Use your accent proof. Man, this thing got hot. It's very hot out today. And again, even the BB guns, I mean, that's what they're capable of. I mean, you may find this hard to believe, but people have been killed by BB guns. Typically, smaller framed people get shot and a little lodge of BB in the lungs, stuff like that. Now, I know the anti-gun people will say, well, we should ban these too. Well, of course they would want to ban everything because they're stupid. Bans don't work. Bans just make people more ignorant, that's all. To be honest with you, the best thing we could ever do is actually have a school program to teach people how to, kids in general, how to safely use a firearm so that they don't hurt themselves. It sounds bizarre, but you know what? No one can argue with me that training and education won't work. That's the only thing that does work. So, anyway, I also wanted to touch on the UN's new gun ban proposal, which is global. And Minister John Baird has stepped away from that. The only government in Canada that is, I wouldn't say they're pro-gun, they're gun neutral at best, is the Conservatives. The NDP will obviously support a UN gun ban, which, even if you're against guns, you have to understand that it's a loss of sovereignty when you allow foreign governments to dictate policy in Canada. So that's just bad no matter how you do it. And I just thought I'd bring that up. So again, get somebody into shooting, get women into shooting, because you know, they vote too, and not only that, kids will be our future voters, and it's up to them if they want to right to carry and stuff like that. You know, we have to band together. And hey, an armed society is a polite society. You have to negotiate with somebody who is armed. The difference between a genocide and a revolution is public armed, public unarmed. The difference between a genocide and a civil war is public armed, public unarmed. Do I think a civil war is coming to Canada? Not so much to Canada, but definitely in the United States. They have a lot of problems right now. And the UN, trust me, they really want a gun ban there. You know, because the US, you know, like Canada, there's a gun behind every blade of grass, and not just BB guns, but real guns. And here in Canada, we're incrementally losing our gun rights. And yes, they are right. And it's about the right. That's all it's about. Banning types of firearms by name, reputation, or even functionality, I mean, is really ridiculous, because it has nothing to do with the firearm. It has everything to do with personal intent. So, for example, I'm choosing to shoot that, but however, I'm out of BBs. But I had the intention of shooting that. Now, let's see what happens when I'll put this on safe. Okay, and I'll watch. See my fingers off the trigger. This will disprove a lot of things that the anti-gunners say. Guns kill people. Okay, go, kill it. Shoot. Alakazam. As you see, until I pull that trigger, nothing will happen. And it takes an intent to do it. And when the bullet leaves the barrel, it's all about user intent at that point. So I could be lawfully target shooting. I could be hunting. Dalton McGinty says these things are not designed to hunt, they're only designed to kill people. I think the man is stupid, because if you know anything... Okay, let's put it to you this way. This is the lowest powered firearm, although not legally classified as a firearm here in Canada. This is the lowest powered, and it could punch through a tin can, or an aluminum can. Okay? The firearms only get more powerful than this. Okay, so you're telling me an actual 9mm, although I wouldn't say ideal, can't knock down a deer? I'd say you're stupid. You know, and in the States they do hunt with handguns, and I think if you're using your axe improves, barrel length does not make a difference. Yes, these are a lot more manipulatable, but it doesn't make them more dangerous if you're using your axe improves. If you're safe, you're safe. If you're not safe, you're not safe. Again, training and education. That's what it's really about. So, again, I'll always advocate for the right to carry. I'll always advocate for any sort of firearms kind of rights, even up to including machine gun ownership. Because again, if this was a real Beretta with a full auto feature, and you pull a trigger once, you go whatever. Again, user intent, you know, but that gives you more potential to kill people. Well, you know, if I killed somebody with this, just hypothetically speaking, which I would not do, but let's say I killed them, not with the actual BBs, but I whacked them over the head with it and it killed them. Would this now be called a tactical BB gun? A tactical assault BB gun? You know what I mean? Like, that's real. Let's say, I'm just going to reholster this, okay? Let's say I took this can, okay, and jammed it down somebody's throat and they died from it. Would we have to ban pop cans because they would be known as tactical assault pop cans? You know, you can see where a BB went through there. I mean, think about it, you know, or is it about user intent? You know, again, right to carry, lowers crime rates. The statistics support it. If you're not a pro-gun person, what I say is just look at the gun rates. Here in Canada, even though we don't have the right to carry, 60 to 80,000 times a year, people use firearms in self-defense. And, you know, considering the gun crime, about 140 to 180 people every year on average get murdered by firearms in Canada. But again, somebody has to pull that trigger. So, user intent again. And the last thing I'll say about it is, out of the 40,000 or so gun charges in Canada, 80% are usually dropped because they're bogus charges, and most of them are probably paper-related. For example, not proper registry, you know, unsafe storage. You drop off the unsafe storage and the paper registry stuff, then I bet you our crime rate with firearms would probably go down astronomically. And also, the handgun registry needs to go. It was the same as the long gun registry. It's been a waste of money since 1934. Let's put it back into our retirement. Let's put it back into our healthcare. Let's put it into, you know, training and education of firearms. Much money, much better spent. Anyway, rate, subscribe. Man, it's bright out here. I can't even see my screen. Okay, so I want to show you guys something. This is a BB gun. Got a nice $10 holster at the Army Surplus in Hull. Pretty cool. try to get this thing all set up here. Okay, first off, I just want to use the big book. Show you that just the kind of hit and power of a BB gun. And what I have there is a can. Now I'm going to try to shoot this, just so you can see the just what a BB gun is capable of. Put it back on safe, as we see. We'll reholster. Okay, this is why they're not what I could call a toy. So we can see that went through. I'll do a better shot just so you can actually see a good centered penetration. So draw my BB gun, and this is all again about education and training. Keep my finger off the trigger till I'm ready to shoot. Okay, that sounds like a good dead-on hit. Again, and I reholster. Now you might laugh at me and say, dude, get a real handgun. I'm in Quebec. Oh, there we go. So we can see the potential dangers of a BB gun. You have to treat it like a real firearm because of that. So we can see it, you know, it has potential to be dangerous. But, gun holster again. These are great tools because of the low restrictions.